Welcome to the Spirit Gathering teleconference. We are so glad you've joined us. We are gathering for spiritual fellowship and to generate a focus of spiritual light and healing to help ourselves, our loved ones, our communities, and the planet. Today is January 20th, 2015, and my name is Diane Wian. Our topic this evening is exploring our deepest longings, which is where we will spend most of our time this evening, and then about 10 minutes or so of our call will be spent honoring Thomas Ayers, who is on the phone, who contributed so much love, care, energy, and time to the Church of Tzaddi and to support the launch of Gallup University. Thomas, on December 31st, 2014, and instead of a gold watch, we can offer him gold energy and other energies as a thank you for his years of committed and helpful service. The call will end with Thomas offering a benediction. Welcome to whomever just joined.
This is Sue.
Hi, Sue, in Alaska.
Yes.
Welcome. This
Thank
is
you.
Diane and Deborah, Thomas, Joanna, Amy, and Nancy.
Good evening.
Deborah Noble Coburn will be holding tonight, and you, Deborah. We are recording this call so that people who could not be here tonight can listen in. Please press either your phone's mute button or *6 to mute your line to help keep the line quiet. Tonight we will meet as a talking stick council. This means where you pick up the talking stick when you and put it down when you finish. One person speaks at a time, and you will wait to speak until you pick up the stick. On the phone, it's an imaginary stick. I'm not sure if someone might be exhaling, but there's that sound of breath on the phone. So if you can either mute your line or press *6 if you're not speaking, that would be helpful. Thank you.
Still hearing a lot of breath and movement. If you haven't muted your line, please do so. If you don't know how, just ask.
Okay, great. Thank you. Oh. Has everyone either hit mute on their phone or pressed *6, which on this teleconference is a way to mute? Thank you. And when you want to speak, feel free to press *6 again and you'll be unmuted. Thank you. So let's take a moment now to get settled, to center ourselves, to let go of the events of this day, and to begin to enter the deeper sacred space within ourselves. Now let's imagine that we are joining together, sacred heart to sacred heart, with every other person on this call right now. Now let us imagine that we are joining together in a circle with a light or flame or fire in the center. Imagine a spoke of light coming from the center of the circle to your heart and for each person on the call tonight or listening in after. Now we are connected, sacred heart to sacred heart. Now let us set our intentions. We listen to one another with compassion and curiosity. We ask for what we need and offer what we can. We deepen our connection with one another and the divine. May this sharing serve us, our communities, and the planet. And so it is. Thomas and I spoke a few weeks ago about what would be an acceptable honoring of him and his many contributions to the Church of Tzaddi and the seminary Gowden University. Thomas was clear that he wanted the call to not be just about him, but about all of us and about the interconnectedness of all life. Thomas's email address is actually God's love on earth, which suggests to me his view of all life is expressed from the divine. The invitation this evening is to hear from your inner child, perhaps an aspect of our own divinity that is not given time and space to express its innermost desires and longings, and its aspect of divine light, divine love, and divine flow. So welcome your inner child into this space where it can be held and supported and loved and expressed. Thomas will start us off this evening by picking up the stick first. Anyone after that who feels called to pick up the stick and share can do so in whatever timing feels right for you. I will close the inner child portion of our session at about 10 minutes after the hour, and then open a space for anyone who wishes to honor, thank, and celebrate Thomas in whatever way you wish. So, Thomas, when you feel ready to share, we honor, celebrate, and welcome your inner child.
Thank you for the opportunity to share. Perhaps a bit of biography or personal history is a place to start. I really had no kind of inklings or any sense of inner child stuff or spiritual stuff until somewhere around 1993 or so. I guess I was about 47 or 48 around that time. It just so happens it was a shift from one major period into a Venus period, astrologically speaking, and this kind of whole kind of unknown spiritual longing emerged. And thinking about it, tried to kind of understand or feel or sense into, well, what was it, or was there a particular kind of place or thing? And I kind of bigger pictures. I started 2 training programs simultaneously. One was a 4-year training at Barbara Brennan School of Healing, and at the same time, the 4-year training program in psychoanalysis of all possible things. And one of the things I was invited, requested, or expected to do was an internship at my training institute. And it was arranged in advance to be at the Westchester County Medical Center in Valhalla, New York. But it was kind of more than just working with patients. It was actually being assigned to the technical job assignment was pastoral care intern, meaning I was supposed to be a chaplain. This was very kind of uncomfortable, very strange, and really unknown territory for me, being a virtual agnostic for most of my life. In some sense, it was a revelation in the sense that I found that in those moments of sitting there with the patients in the hospital, not really preaching to them, but listening and being present, that what we talked about ended up being the truth. That's the phrase that comes, the truth of presence, the truth of being. Another way of talking about it is communion. And in some sense, that seems to me what has emerged in the course of the last week or two of thinking about how to talk about this. And, that's what the longing is, has been, and still is for me. The truth of connection and the truth of communion. It's not kind of ideological truth like 1 and 1 equals 2. It's not mathematics. It's not science. It's just kind of this basic sense of connection, of communion. And that followed me through my work with clients, through my work with students offering classes in flow alignment connection and physical atomic cellular evolution, my work with training teachers to do physical atomic cellular evolution, my work in ordination studies with the healer counselors and with the ministers. And it has come to the place that, this one little phrase has kind of kept coming back as, well, here's the essence of it. And I said this to the students when I was teaching them in Germany, that watching them offer their healing sessions with their friends and people who they may never have ever met in their entire lives. Seeing that connection, seeing that communion, it reminded me that God is real. And it was that led me to do the ordination programs and to seek ordination and to have my work with what I mentioned before with clients, students, and ordination candidates. It's that. In that being, in that connection, in that union, is when God is real for me. Yeah. So that's what I sense that my inner child longed for and still longs for. And in fact, has had some realization of that here in this life. Might have waited until I was 50 years old or so for it to emerge, but there's been some of it. And we'll see what happens. Okay. So I have, that's pretty much what I had the sense that I wanted to offer. I'll set the stick down.
Thank you.
Welcome.
And may I just pick up the stick and ask if someone joined a couple minutes ago? You could let us know who you are. You have to star 6 to
Hello?
unmute. Hello?
Hello, this is Sally Eckera.
Hi, Sally. This is Diane. Welcome.
Hi, Diane. Hi, Thomas.
Hi, Sally. Hello in North Carolina.
So when anyone feels called to pick up the stick and share, you can feel free. Thank you.
Hi, this is Deborah Noble Coburn, and I will speak a little bit about what my inner child wants. I had glimpses of what my inner child wanted probably at age 5 or age 6, although I waited many, many, many years to do inner child work. As a young child, I remember wanting to be, probably when I was about 10 or 11 or 12, wanting to be a conduit for God's light and love. The framework at that time, since I was growing up in the Methodist Church, and you could not be a minister in that church at that time, I decided that maybe I would like to be a deaconess. And I also remember playing at age 5, before I went to school. I remember putting books under my arm and waving goodbye to my mother and walking out to the sidewalk to be picked up by the bus because I just couldn't wait to go to school and learn and to teach. I also remember at age 6 wanting a beauty kit, wanting a ring, wanting things of beauty. And I think for much of my life, I felt that this was perhaps trivial, or maybe there's something else that I should, quote unquote, should do that would be of more value or more importance. But those are the three things, and also, I must say, seasonal celebration. If there was a holiday to be celebrated, I loved to celebrate it. And I think part of that is that I grew up in a poor farm family, and things were a little tight, but holidays and special days, birthdays, were always causes for celebration. And so I grew up just thoroughly enjoying and appreciating those times. I went on to have careers using different facets of the things that I have just mentioned. And I currently am working in a garden center, one of the largest on the East Coast, which is also the largest gift shop in Northern Virginia, gift shop and home decor. And Merrifield Garden Center's tagline is Merrifield Garden Center, where beauty begins. And I feel so blessed to be able to combine my love of the seasons, my love of beauty, and teaching and instructing people, my clients, about making their environments beautiful. I've recently moved out to Gainesville, where the garden center is located, and am in search of, believe I found it, but we shall see what the universe has in store for me, a home that I can make a beautiful home for myself and possibly a housemate. And I would look forward to pursuing teaching seasonal seminars, for I truly believe that people of any faith or people from all walks of life could come into the garden center and connect with the seasonal energies and thus connect with their spirituality and their higher power, while utilizing the beauty that is around us and in the center to bring that into their home or family community. And so those are some of the inner longings that I am experiencing at the present. I know that I'm walking into a brand new life, and I am very eager and grateful to be beginning it. And so I am working right now with a realtor to see if a home that I have fallen in love with, where you can see the woods and see the seasons for me. And I think I feel complete. My inner child is very excited and very nervous and very, I'm on the growing edge. And I thank you for the opportunity to share this with you. I am complete.
This is Diane. I'll pick up the stick. I believe that what my inner child longs for and desires is to connect fully and intimately with myself and the divinity of self. And that's safe. And connecting safely and completely with others in an intimate and richly connected way. Where there's great ease and flow and lack of hesitation. I'm putting the stick down. Thank you.
This is Sally. I'm going to pick up the stick. I think when I remember being a child and things that I really wanted, two things stand out for me. Was that I loved horses, and I always wanted to have a horse and go horseback riding. And that's something I've carried forward into my adult life. And the other thing is I always loved to travel and dreamed of traveling around the world. And I can remember reading stories as a child and just having my imagination woken up through this. And it's something I've enjoyed to some extent in my life so far, but I hope to do more traveling as life continues. And I think the other thing that stands out for me now is that I need to be very sensitive from moment to moment as to how that inner child in me responds to things. And what I realize is that that wasn't something encouraged by my parents. So a lot of times that spark in me has a hard time making itself known. And I tend to, kind of just be in modus operandus instead of really aware and listening and responding. And so that's something that I'm really working towards this point in my life as I try and really care for that inner child in me and really just my soul self. So I'm complete, and I'm going to put down the stick.
This is Nancy, and I'm ready to pick up the stick from the center where that fire is burning. I hadn't thought much about my inner child specifically for a while, but in hearing everyone tonight and in thinking just a little bit about it before we started, I can say that my biggest love as a child was nature. I felt that I could understand the wind that blew through the aspen trees. And I knew the stones on a path, which ones were smooth and which ones were sharp and pointy, and felt a real oneness with water, with clouds, and really felt and heard and experienced a lullaby of wind in the trees at night outside my screened window in my bedroom. And I've always had that, carried that with me wherever I've lived, whether on a mountain or in the city where we are now. But what comes to mind to share about that is that I have felt a new chapter starting in my life for some months. And then, and I had gotten some guidance about it from within, but then around, right before New Year's Eve, I came down with an illness that I picked up from one of our sons, and then picked up another illness right after that, which invited me to be very quiet for the last 2.5 weeks. And in that time, I've returned to a practice that I've had some years at the winter solstice. When I was ill, I would lie in bed right by the eastern window, and I would watch almost every move that the sun made as it climbed the hill to the east of our house and crossed my window on its path. And I noticed the winter trees and birds very intently. And I was told that this is to be part of my practice in the new year, and that I would be spending much more time with inner work, including writing poetry and working on a book. But a lot of it is simply being present to each day as it begins and noticing which early mornings the windows have frost pictures and how those pictures are different every day and how they're symbolic, and just details, and also the great expanse of the sky. So I've been, now that I'm feeling better, the last couple of days, trying to stay true to that sense of oneness of all life, nature, and people. And I feel like it's a full circle back to how I lived when I was very young. And this new period, starting this year, in which I'll turn 67, feels very rich with the spiritual experience and presence that I began this lifetime with. So I put down the stick and leave it for the next person.
this is Diane. I'll just pick the stick up and ask if Joanna or Amy or Sue, if either of you would like to present. Happy to keep the space open. If you would not, if you could just let me know, that would be appreciated for time purposes. Thank you.
For time purposes, I'll pass on this part of the sharing. Thanks, Diane. It's Amy.
Thank you.
This is Sue, Diane, and I'm not feeling motivated right now. I'll pass as well. It's a lovely sharing, but thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, this is Joanna, and I'm kind of thinking about all this right now. Hello?
So would you like to present?
Oh, I didn't know if no, I'm just kind of thinking about all this right now.
Okay. Well, then I think what we'll do is we'll officially close this portion with just a moment of silence and then prepare for the next portion, which is to honor and thank Thomas for his contributions to Tzaddi and Gowden University. So in whatever way you do, center yourself. And let's thank and honor all of our inner children and their path of growth and development and stepping into light and love and flow from the divine. Great. And now let's open a space, again, in whatever way you do, to thank Thomas for his many contributions and to wish him well in his retirement. We'll use the same format with picking up a stick and sharing with Thomas as you wish. If you don't know Thomas, welcome your participation by holding a beautiful space for this portion, helping to hold it. Thank you.
It's Amy. I'd like to pick up the stick. I feel that words really can't do the trick here because at the risk of mortifying you, Thomas, there are no superlatives high enough for me to describe the regard in which I hold you and the privilege and honor I've had in working with you over these last many years in various places and situations. You are a most esteemed colleague and a wonderful teacher through the strength of your being. And I am deeply sad that it's time for you to retire. And I am deeply joyous and in awe of you and your courage to step into this next phase And I just thank you so much for everything you've given our institution and me personally. Those of you who don't know, Thomas has been a co-author of an awful lot of institutional documents, our ethics code for Tzaddi, that some of you have recently commented on to me. Wow, this is really good. This is really useful. Thomas and I did that together, a lot of it. And Thomas has held space for the idea of a seminary, some kind of sensible grading structure, some kind of a sensible curriculum structure. And I can't convey to you the tedium that Thomas has tolerated in version after version and iteration after iteration. And he served as the first faculty member in our school. I mean, he's really a leader at so many different levels. And it takes an unusual person to believe in something when there's nothing there at the form level yet. And Thomas has been my deep friend in that adventure. So I honor you, Thomas. And thank you. I'm putting the stick down.
This is Diane. I'll pick up the stick. And I am also deeply grateful for the time that we spent together in a variety of different form and formats. Most recently, with you as mentor for my healer counselor class through Gowden University, and also minister class through Gowden University. The questions that you would ask in our sessions together were really so deeply and respectfully thought out and through, and I appreciated them for what they sparked and helped me for my path of growth and development. And the richness of the space that we shared, and to your point earlier that God is real, it was so present in all of our conversations, and I'm just so grateful and thankful, and feel so very lucky that I had you as a mentor twice. You were a wonderful mentor and contributor, and appreciate the sense of fun and mischief along the way. So thank you for that so very much. I'm putting the stick down.
Thomas, or this is Sue. I'd like to pick up the stick. Thomas, I don't know you. I've never met you. I've only crossed your path through these calls. But I can say this. I hear your voice, and it is the love in it, the compassion in it, was conveyed just through the vibration in your voice is just wonderful. And I can feel that vibration running through very quietly, perhaps in the background, but certainly as through the core of all the work that we do with Gowden and many of the documents, what am I trying to say, the curriculum, the writing, providing the study materials. But anyway, I know that I hear Diane and I hear Amy, and I know that you all have a long, long, long relationship. But I just want you to know from someone who hasn't met you in the physical form that, and who's only crossed your paths very briefly at times, that your vibration is very distinct, and it's very, very much filled with compassion and wisdom. And it's been a pleasure. And I'm sorry to hear in one way that you're retiring, but in another way, if you're just completing on one thing and embarking on something new. So congratulations and best wishes and much love for your new journey. And I'm putting the stick down.
This is Sally. I'm picking up the stick, and I just want to acknowledge you, Thomas, for the beautiful, beautiful being that you are. The love that you have shared and demonstrated over the years just blows me away. You are one of the most beautiful beings I've ever met. And it has been a privilege to walk this walk with you. You're one of the people that brought me into Roselight, to Gowton, to so many different venues into my life that have been profoundly touching to me. And I just want you to know that as you move into retirement, I am going to be kicking and screaming behind you because I'm not sure I want to let you be there as much as you profoundly deserve it. I will profoundly miss you if you are not there as a colleague. And with that, I do wish you all the best, always. Putting down the stick.
Hi, this is Deborah. I have had the pleasure of participating in many seminars and a mentor program with Thomas prior to Tzaddi. And when I think of Thomas, the first thing I do is I start to giggle at the fun times and the dry wit and the humor that he demonstrates. And immediately after that, the hairs on my arm stand on end at the vibration in his voice, the beautiful, deep, resonant quality of his benediction and his wisdom and the gentleness of his soul that permeates his entire being. And so, Thomas, although it's been many years since I've seen you in person, I will miss you. And I want to thank you deeply for all of the contributions you've made to my life and to the lives of all of us in Roselight and in Tzaddi. You will be missed. Thank you. And I put down the stick.
Well, thank you all. And thank you again, Thomas. What I would like to do at this point is invite everyone, if you wish, to comment on what is in your heart and mind as you leave the call this evening. If you could keep it to one word or a couple words, that would be great. Thank you.
Thomas. Go ahead. I'll wait.
This is Deborah. My word is gratitude.
Thomas here. My word is very blessed.
Diane, grateful.
This is Nancy. My word is Godspeed.
This is Sally. My word is communion.
This is Amy. Mine are heart connection.
My word is wisdom.
Is that everyone? Here. Well, there's some words.
Their words are woof, woof, woof.
Right. Well, thank you for joining us for this Spirit Gathering teleconference. The call may be archived as an MP3 at tzaddi.org. Phone access to the recording of this call is available until next month's call. For playback of the recording, dial 712-432-1085, access code 990322#. We hope you'll join us for our next Spirit Gathering on Tuesday, February 17th, 2015. These calls are hosted by Tzaddi, an interspiritual metaphysical organization founded in California in 1964. Tzaddi welcomes, nurtures, and supports people in celebrating and more directly experiencing their relationship with the loving presence of the divine. Our programs are open to people of any race, color, or national or ethnic origin. Visit tzaddi.org to learn more. We will close now with thanks and a blessing. Thanks to Tzaddi founders Amy Keys and Dorothy Blackmere. Thanks to all of you who have been part of our community tonight, and thanks to the divine who supports us always, even when we are not aware of it. And we thank you, Thomas, for doing your benediction this evening.
May the divine bless you and keep you. Divine, make its face shine upon you and be gracious unto you. And may the divine uplift its countenance within you and give you peace.
Thank you so much, and many blessings.